so high I'm hypnotized. What's up is down, what's left is right. Chasing stars and holding you. I can't see the end, but we'll see it through. Times don't fly too high. Be sure to keep the ground in sight. Fly forever if you keep it tight. Love the world, but keep the sky on your mind.
Actual budget information and then actually what we're advertising for 25. I want to stress advertising. There's a lot of information that's not privy when you do your budget, and I'll dive a little deeper into that as we look at specific parts of the budget preparation. But tonight we're going to take a look at the actual budgets for 24 and advertise for 25. We'll look at our levies, the actuals for 24, advertise for 25. We'll take a look at tax rates, the actuals for 24 again, advertise for 25. We'll talk quickly about our capital projects plan for 25 and the 25 through 29 bus replacement. Just a little quote there: the best way to predict the future is to study the past, and that's very true of budgeting. We look at a lot at what's going on in the past and what we are projecting as we move into the future. So starting with the actual budget, these are the appropriations that would be approved by the DLGF. This is what you would have the authority to spend. We're going to look at what was actually approved in 24, and then again, we'll talk about what's advertised and kind of what will change based on new information that the DLGF has that we just don't have the time to prepare a budget. So as you look at the appropriation, again, appropriation is what you have the authority to spend, not what you have to spend. So if you look at our 24 budget, was 21.5 million is what we budgeted in education. That was approved. We are asking for we'll be asking for 22.5 for the DLGF to approve 22.5. We're putting extra appropriation in there again, just like we did this year, or requesting an additional appropriation there, and that is to address in 25 you need to hire more staff, looking at salary increases, and also the curriculum material fund is actually rolling into the education fund as a new requirement. So what we're used to spend for our curriculum materials straight out of the curriculum material fund, that will now have to come to the education fund since we're having to roll that in there. Debt service, we have 2 debt funds. We're unique there, and that is simply, that is to pay your bond payments. So when we talk about the construction, that is funded through lease bond rentals, and so those are to make your payments for those. So you can see in debt service, we're asking for an appropriation of roughly 7.3, and that is to pay Silver Creek debt only. We also collect for the old West Clark debt. So again, that's spread out on all the West Clark taxing parcels, including Bourne and Henryville, and that's just to pay debt that was issued when we were West Clark. That will eventually go away right around 2033 when the 16 bonds fall off, but we do still collect for that. Our operation fund, that's went up 4%. That is because you're allowed to increase your levy 4% every year as a max right now by state law, and so therefore we kind of increase the appropriation. We just kind of format that the same, and then we are asking for an additional a little over $1 million for the rainy day appropriation. That's to make a last payment on the Hensley payment for the property we bought there, and then again have some room there in case you do have a rainy day. So a total requested budget appropriation that we'll send to the DLGF is $42,152,686. And as you can see in comparison, in 24, our actual budget was $40 million, a little over 40.2. And again, that is the appropriations. That's the authority to spend, not what you have to spend. Diving into levies, this is when you issue a tax rate, this is what you levy or you collect based on taxes. So we'll take a look at that real quick. Again, you'll see in 24 in debt service, that's to pay Silver Creek debt right at 2.5. West Clark debt was right at 3. And our operation fund was 3.8. And again, that is capped right at a 4% increase right now. If you go into the advertised, you'll see that the debt service and the West Clark debt, the debt service is quite a bit more. And the reason is when we're creating our budget, we do not have assessed value, which determines your tax rate and what you're going to be able to levy. So the DLGF recommends that you budget 85% of your current assessed value. So we do that just because we don't have that information. We do now in the DLGF, but when we're creating a budget, we don't. And so what'll happen there is when that actual assessed value goes up, that will immediately impact the levy amount. That'll be reduced. There's also when you are putting in your debt, you're only allowed to click a 50% operating balance in any debt bond issued after 2016. You can only collect 15%. So again, with the assessed value actually being higher, we saw about a 4% growth for debt service for Silver Creek debt and about a 6% growth for West Clark. You'll see that help drive that down. And then also you will see the difference between that operating balance that you can carry. In our operation fund, again, that is a 4% increase max. We go after the max levy, and that's $4.2 million. So again, right now advertising a total levy amount of a little over $17 million, but that will decrease. So going into actual tax rates and then advertised, I purposely just wanted to note in 24 what we actually advertised and where the actual came in, so that you can see that, again, since we don't have assessed value and we don't know, and we have to click that we're going to carry a 15% operating balance, it really impacts the tax rate. But again, we have to stay safe when we do that because we don't have that information at that time. So you can see the total tax rate for 24, what we advertised was right at $1.8490, and then when it actually came in, again, a little over $1.04 there was our actual tax rate. So going into 25, and again, if you look at the advertised rate, we're advertising a little over 1.7 But again, I'm going to give an estimated actual. We're going to, based on everything I'm seeing, we'll be able to hold our tax rate the same. That's very important to us. We want to be good stewards to our taxpayers. We have the ability to, we believe, to hold our tax rate steady as of now, and so that's what we plan to do here as we move into 2025. Going into our capital projects plan, very similar to the past. We're going to continue to budget some money there to do some carpet replacement or flooring replacement in each one of our buildings. We also are projecting we're going to need to do some paving over at the SCPS lot. So anything that you know in 25 you're planning on doing that's over 10,000 that would come out of your operation fund here, you have to submit that to the DLGF. And for right now, these are the ones that we foresee that would come out of our operation fund that would be over 10,000. Equipment, we are planning on getting a scissor lift. That's one of our needs. We actually had that in the budget last year as well, but we just didn't move forward. We kind of got by this year, but we do anticipate needing that for 2025 to continue to utilize that for maintenance. Moving on to our bus replacement. When you look in the bus replacement, you actually are working through years 2025 to 2029. You can see in 2000, I apologize, it's kind of hard to fit on a screen, but in 25, we do plan on replacing 2 activity buses to stay in line with their bus replacement plan that we're estimating would be about $230,000 out of our operation fund. In 26, you'll see 2 more activity buses, and then one 66 passenger bus would be replaced, and that would be about $390,000, and then on down through 29, we plan on continuing to replace buses to ensure that we can keep up with our fleet and continue to make sure transportation is moving smoothly. And that's it for the budget. Go Dragons. Thank you.
Public comment. Any public comment?
My name is Kathy Miller, and I live on Perry Crossing Parkway. I'm probably not going to be very popular here this evening for this, but I've been doing a lot of deep diving into property taxes. Our property taxes are killing us, and the schools happen to be the biggest part of that. I am not saying that anyone here is not valuable and does a wonderful job and does way more than they should have to do with what's available. However, people are losing their homes because they can't afford their property taxes. I run a small business and I run a budget in my home. I don't just get to go ask for an organization or a taxing entity to give me more money every year. I have to do with what I have and budget and not get everything that I want for my business or my home. I think that's how we need to look at these things. Your estimated tax rate, I really appreciate, because if it goes up even a little bit, people and senior citizens are losing their homes and they're having to decide, do I pay my taxes or do I buy my medicine or my food? School budgets are going up much faster than inflation rates are going up. I understand property taxes are a very complex thing. And listen, I'm going after the fire districts too, because they're the second biggest drain or reason that my property taxes go up. County finances and county budgets are going down. They're being very fiscally responsible, at least in Clark County, because I go to their meetings too. So I promise you, I'm not picking on the school system. But I just think it's important. I feel like we're the frogs in the boiling water. Just every year our taxes get inched up and our rates get changed and our assessed values are going up, and that only benefits you if you're going to sell your house. If your assessed value goes up, that causes your taxes to go up. And if you're like me, I mean, I kind of plan on dying in the house that I'm in, so I'm going to get no benefit from my assessed values going up other than my taxes go up with it. So it's just something that I think everybody needs to start paying attention to, because we're literally the frogs in the boiling water as our taxes inch up $50 a year, $200 a year. Mine have gone up 70% in the last 6 years. If that happens again, that will put me close to retirement age, and my house is going to have the greatest school systems and the greatest fire protection and all these things, and I won't be able to afford to live there. So thank you for your time. I just would like to put that out there. So, and you all do a wonderful job. This is not what this is about.
Anyone else?
Hi, my name is my name is Jennifer Gaddy, and Kathy said it way more eloquently than I could have. But I've also done some digging, and it is true. It's the schools and the fire that went up more than the county went down. I've been in my home for 20 years, and I'm on a limited budget as well, and my mortgage has gone up $200 a month just in taxes over the last 4 years. I mean, it's eating at me, it's eating at my fellow taxpayers, and we are concerned. It's a great facility. I'm very disappointed to see the breakdown. None of it goes to education. All of it's going to operations and to your debt. So like Kathy said, I think that management within your budget should be better looked at. Thank you.
Todd, do you want to explain
I have
that?
a couple questions if we don't mind
Hang
for
on-
the two
hang on
people
one
that
sec-
spoke.
Hang on 1 second. Let Todd explain why there's no education in the budget here.
So, the education fund is funded, or revenue comes strictly from the state by how many students you have. You cannot levy, taxes play no part in your education. So you cannot levy anything to fund your education. Sorry, did you hear that? I'm sorry. So the education fund, if you'll notice, and that's one thing I probably should have called out, is when you looked at the tax rate, there is no tax rate for your education fund. It is completely funded by the state, and that's based on by per pupil amount. So there's no taxes that's based on it. And then when we talk about the construction money that is bond, that is not a local fund. That is a bonding. You actually have to go through public hearings, public notices to be able to issue bonds for construction. There's a couple avenues there that you can go through, but we followed all our hearings. We issued our 23 to be able to fund our projects. But that bond money can only be used for construction purposes only. It cannot be used for education purposes.
Thank you for clarifying that, because a lot of the taxpayers don't understand that. They think that their taxes are going up and it's helping the teachers, when, I think that taxpayers need to educate themselves a little bit more as far as where this money is coming from and where it's going to. Just like the ESSER funds, you guys had a lot of funds to do the things that you wanted to do. But then you've got teachers complaining that they're not being paid as equally, even though those are other districts that are substantially larger, a substantially larger tax base and so forth. But I'm glad Kathy spoke up, so thank you.
Thank you.
I have a couple questions just for the two speakers. Just gathering information kind of as we go through, but do you currently have any kids in the school district?
I do. In fact, my kids are 10 years apart, so
Okay.
I've watched decline,
Mhm.
and yeah.
No kids in the district? Okay. So I live kind of over in your area, but I do think there needs to be some education, because the most significant factor that has rose people's taxes in this area is the assessed values going up. Mine has went up because of that. Our percentage has not changed that drastically. The percentage did change slightly, but that's not the 70% increase that you're talking about. The biggest significant factor has been the assessed values. 10 years ago, everybody's house was probably close to $50,000 or $60,000 less than what it's valued at now, and that's something that is done in town and with the county government here as well. So, I do think you're correct. I think there needs to be some education on it, especially as, we kind of look at budgets and construction projects and things like that going forward. I do think there's a misunderstanding as to how our taxes play into that. But I do think that we need to kind of collectively look at things as a board and decide how we inform people, because I do think there's a significant misunderstanding in that. No,
you had
that
a
was
couple
it.
of
I just,
questions.
I think we are obviously in a construction project, and the needs are great. And so when we look at budgets and we look at things like what we need money for, it is good to get feedback from the public. I think everybody right now, regardless whether it's taxes or going to the grocery or whatever, it just feels like there's a strain. And so it's good to hear feedback kind of where everybody's at. I do think that when you feel strain, there's kind of some misdirection with regards to the frustration. And I think that we do need to clarify that and come to the table with some real clear information as to what the school is pulling tax-wise. And I think that will help, but I do appreciate you guys' feedback coming here tonight.
Any other public comment? All right, with that, we'll close the hearing. And at this time, we will, 6:48. And we'll call our regular scheduled school board meeting to order at 6:48. If we could, please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance, followed by the invocation. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Dear Heavenly Father, we're just thankful for all the great things that are happening here at Silver Creek. We have an amazing staff who are dedicated to the overall success of our students and go above and beyond every day. We're thankful for the positive, encouraging environment that our staff creates for our kids. Help us be mindful that our actions and words make a difference, and give us your wisdom to make the best decisions possible for our students, staff, and community as a whole. We ask that you continue to send your blessings our way and watch over us and keep us safe. In Jesus' name, amen.
All right. The mission statement for Silver Creek School Corporation states as follows. Silver Creek School Corporation will operate with integrity, providing a safe, welcoming, and inclusive culture for our Dragon family. Through our dedication to academic excellence, we empower everyone to achieve their highest potential. As stewards for our stakeholders and community, we are committed to acting with transparency and accountability.
Thank you. Roll call, Mr. Basham.
Here.
Ms. Franklin,
Present.
Mr. Groen, and I am present. We have quorum. Dr. Briggs, any emergency additions and revisions to the agenda?
Yes, good evening, everyone. I do have 2 revisions to the agenda. They fall under number 7, consent agenda, under letter B, donations. Request to add Roman numeral number 2, Stricker family, Silver Creek High School athletics donation of $1,500. And the other revision to the agenda falls under letter D, other, request for approval, request to add Roman numeral number 9, Kings the Third Emergency Services Agreement and Addendum. And that's it for emergency revisions to the agenda.
All right, you've heard the emergency additions and revisions to the agenda. Do we have a motion to bring that to the floor?
Also move.
Mr. Groen makes a motion. Do we have a second? Second. Mr. Basham seconds. Any questions or discussion? Hearing none, all of those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion carries 4-0. Next up, we have the approval of the minutes that were in your school board packet for the August 13th of 2024 regular meeting and the work session. At this time, do we have a motion to bring those to the floor?
Also move.
Mr. Groen makes a motion. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Ms. Franklin seconds. Any questions? Hearing none, all of those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion carries 4-0. Next up, we have some recognition and presentation, and Dr. Briggs, you want to start?
Yes, absolutely. Good evening again. Tonight we have 3 presentations, actually 2 presentations, and one celebration of an individual who's leaving us. Dr. Willman, you want to come up and introduce Mr. Hoffel?
Sure, it's my pleasure to, well, it's not my pleasure to say that Ross is leaving us. Ross has done a fantastic job. Just in my first year here at Silver Creek, you know that I thought one of my primary responsibilities is to make sure that Ross stays employed by our school corporation, so I'm sorry about that. But,
That was it,
He
Dr.
has, that was it. So he has done amazing work. I think the biggest thing that it comes into mind when you get to Ross is well, two things really: expertise, which he obviously has a handle on that, and trust. People basically, what it comes down to is parents trust him with the health of their student athlete, and so both all coaches do and parents do. So we're going to be sorry to see him go. Are we going to give him an opportunity to talk? Or
Absolutely.
didn't know? Okay,
That's up to
Ross,
him.
come on up.
Yeah.
I appreciate the recognition. I moved to this town. One of my groomsmen in my wedding is a coach here. This school corporation means a lot to me. This was not an easy decision. I'm going to miss this place quite a bit. But like I said, I live in town. I can't wait to see the growth and the success of the school corporation. It'll always have a special place in my heart. So thank you all, Dr. Briggs, for organizing this. Dr. Woman, thank you. To all the parents and the athletes, I really appreciate the last 7+ years. It's been fantastic. Couldn't have ended up in a better place. Thank you.
Thank you.
Ross, I just want to tell you thank you. I know there were a lot of times when you dedicated a lot of time, and helping every athlete. I've seen you out there. I know I've stopped you a couple times and just asked you to look at my daughter or my son for something, it was minor, and you gave the best advice you could. So I know you gave your heart and your soul to Silver Creek, and you are a huge loss, but we wish you the best moving forward.
Thank you.
Thanks, Ross.
Thank you, Ross.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
All right. Next up, we have Mr. Hankins to talk about our Purple Star designation.
Yeah, just a little background here. Board members, on tonight's agenda is a resolution in support of military families. And in order to get designated as a Purple Star school, there are certain things we have to do, and many of those we're already doing. And it's a great recognition to have in support of our families who are in the military. And Mr. Hankins is here to provide a little bit more detail.
Do we have anything?
We do not.
Thanks to the board for the invitation to come and present to you tonight. I appreciate Dr. Briggs's support in this effort, and Dr. Waters and Dr. Swarens, who received me in my Google Doc as soon as I told them that we were going to apply for this grant, and I'm flooding them with updates, and I watched this video, and we did that, we made this contact, this is what it's going to look like. And I've worked for Silver Creek School Corporation for 20 years, so I feel like I'm a veteran of the corporation, but I'm also a veteran of the United States Navy. So it's exciting to present this to you tonight on the eve of a day of remembrance as we think about 9/11, we think about our patriotism, we think about what that means when things are taken from us and we reclaim them in the name of patriotism, right? And I also know in those 20 years that I've never sent an MOU to the superintendent and told him to go take it personally to each member of the board. And all I could hear was my grandmother's voice saying, Paul, don't get above your raisin, right? But there was a reason for it. There was a reason for this, because I really believe in this Purple Star designation that we can get for our school. Now, what we did find in the end is we're doing this representation at this point for Silver Creek High School. When we filled out the application, we found out there was some reverse engineering in that application that needed to happen by looking back at a November presentation, September 11th presentation. And when we went to go look at that, it's not that Silver Creek Corporation is not doing in each one of its buildings a recognition of military service and what that means to our community. Moving forward in the next year, we can do that. Starting tomorrow, we can look at face-out book presentations in libraries. We can look at programs that we're offering. We can look at Veterans Day programs that we may be offering in the future. One of the reasons that this was so very important to me is as the graduation requirements begin to shift, one of those tracks is enlistment. And our students are becoming really savvy, so much more savvy than I was in 1991 when I joined the military with no college credits, with no leadership experience. I came in at the bottom of the hierarchy as an E1. Our students are graduating from Silver Creek High School with associate's degrees and enough college credit hours and enough certification to actually enter into the military as an E3 and able to challenge E4 and E5 within the first year of their enlistment. So I want to make sure with a Purple Star designation that that third trek into enlistment doesn't become a contingency plan, but it's actually one that we are conscious of, that we can start at the high school. So this is a 3-year appointment. We'll actually find out around November 8th if we've been approved for the designation. I don't foresee a problem with our being approved. That doesn't mean that the other schools have to wait for the next 3 years. I would be the point of contact, having done the training. We can start to apply again with the other buildings as early as next April and then see what the deadline is. So we can bring other buildings on board so that we can do a district-wide designation, which would be my hope. So, any questions for me?
No, I'll just comment to say thank you. Thank you for putting your time in to do this. I know it was a lot of work and in addition to what you already do. And I just thank you for it.
Well, I appreciate the reception of the board too, because I was going to reserve a lot of my commentary tonight because you got that in an email, probably longer than you would have wanted to have read. But that's what it looks like when Neurospicy hits the page and talks about things that, things that they really care about. So,
Thank you. Yeah, thank you for spearheading this, and truly thank you for your service on top of that.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
One of the things I think we should do, we do letters of intent signings, and I know Scott's brought this up. We would love to see out of the high school where kids that go into a journeyman or a trade field or the military have those same type of moments with their families and their support systems that, that's kind of their next step. So maybe that's something we could look to do in the future, is really recognizing our students, like, as they sign those letters for enlistment and they go in, and making that really part of, their graduation process onto the next step. I know we do it. We did it with people that went into education. That was kind of something that new that we did, but I would love to see it for the military kids and then also for those that are entering the trade fields.
And those are things that we're discussing with Dr. Willman, with his support already, with making an application. And of course, when I get excited and I go to my superintendent and I've got like 25 items, he says, can we make sure that we keep Dr. Willman in the loop on this? And, yeah, of course, right? As a military person, I appreciate hierarchy, right? I appreciate chain of command. But I think the Purple Star designation would put some wind in our sails to be able to do some of the things that you're talking about and really create liaison with our community organizations too.
Good.
No, that's awesome.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Paul.
All right, next up, we have Shireman Construction with an update on our construction process.
Thanks, everybody. I'm Jeff Shireman with Shireman Construction Management. I've got Les Smith and my dad, Mark Shireman, here with me tonight. Happy to give you an update. I kind of hate to follow Dr. Ballmer every time because he's such a PowerPoint ninja, but I'll just show big, pretty pictures and hopefully get through it somehow. So, actually, today we had a great tour of the facility with Alex's broadcast class, and I was trying to talk them into doing this presentation for me instead because I'm sure they took a lot better photos than Les and I have this week. But so here's the front addition of the building. This is the 2-story front addition, as you can see. So it's progressing along well. The front entrance is in good shape. On the left side of the screen, you can see the administration area here, and then of course the main new front entrance of the building is here, and then you see the 2-story classroom addition along here. We've got the orange sunshades up now. Most of the glass, the metal work is complete in the building, and you kind of can see along the front of the building here is going to be a really nice pickup drop-off area for school buses and stuff. It's a very wide sidewalk. It'll be a lot safe, very safe kind of area for pickup and drop-off of students on the front facade here. Looking at the building from the back, from the east side, you can kind of see how the front addition sticks up above the old school building. And then here's where we infilled the old courtyard in the middle. So this is kind of where the new student union is in this area or whatever. So just kind of giving you a view of the rear, and you can see the new metal panels along the back. Some of the classrooms on the 2-story addition, they kind of have a view of the roof in the back or whatever. So looking in at the main entry of the building, in this circle here, this is where all your brick pavers are that Dr. Ballmer's been selling on the Facebook and everything, or go here. And so I think there'll probably be around 2 of them. There'll be some extra spots available if somebody in the public would like this. This will be the main entrance. The admin is here. And then here's, you can see kind of the blue random metal panel design. So you walk into the front of the building, and here's your new main entrance. We're still working on the flooring in this area, of course, but the blue panels kind of come through into the main entrance, and then you have the big dragon to kind of know you're here at Silver Creek. On the left side will be the administration wing, and you'll go straight down this corridor here if you want to get to the main gym. So kind of looking at the front of the admin, here's the main front desk. Now we've got it all kind of wrapped up in our protection, right? Because we don't want the workers damaging it because they put stuff like these ladders and lean it against our finished casework, and drive me nuts. But so, you know, we work through this stuff. We try to protect it as we go, but you can kind of see here's kind of the main front desk. And then behind it's going to be a nice really workspace. They've got 2 big countertop areas here. They're going to have a lot of copy machines and things for staff and administration to be able to do a lot of paperwork back here. So looking at the 2-story student union, it's where it is now. It's actually a couple days further along on flooring in here. So student unions here. This is the media center on the left. Okay, back here is going to be the bank, and then here is also the shop for students. So for the T-shirt shop for students, or whatever they call that. And so this will connect in. This is a hallway this is the 300 corridor back here, and it will connect into kind of the cafeteria area. So Dr. Willman has this set up as kind of, it's going to have LVT floor, so this will be a nice overflow space because you have a very small cafeteria now, and this will be an additional nice space to be able to eat and maybe reduce a lunch period when it opens up. So in the student union here, we have a maker space that's part of the media center, so there'll be some 3D printers along here and things like that. It's moving along. There's the main countertop for the media center. So this is the corridor that goes back to the main gym. There's a door into the main gym there. So we have a glass wall back here that'll separate off the public when they come in to do basketball games at night from the rest of the student union. That way you don't have any security issues or whatever, but it'll have a nice view of all this through the glass for the public to see what we've got. Also attached to the main area is the new Mega Science Lab here. You know, this is like a university-sized science lab we have going on. Now, during this phase of construction, since we're taking in phase 3 of construction that we're going to be moving into in October, we're taking over all the rest of the science labs in the building. So Dr. Willman and we are working on a plan to divide this up with some temporary curtains into 3 science lab classrooms for the next phase of construction. And then at the end of the project, it'll all come back out, and this will be the big science lab. Okay, going up to the classroom wing, the 2-story wing, here's kind of the hallway down the 2-story classroom wing. Here's a group study area here. The teacher's lounge is here. Here's breakout reading rooms for students, and then all the classrooms are on this side of the hall. You can kind of see we have the lighting stuff, and these are little clouds that are for soundproofing. They're kind of like a trapezoidal figure there. So if you get in the building soon, you'll see those. Typical classroom. This is one of the double rooms with the folding walls in it, right? So we still got to peel all the final protection off of the folding wall or whatever, but they'll have really nice views, you know, out towards the golf course, towards the cement plant and all that stuff, the front parking lot. Carpets all in. We have this is the wall covering that you'd use the markers on. They call it wall talkers. That's all in place. The paint's done. So we punched out this area. We're just ready for furniture in it now on the 2nd floor. Moving inside the building now, this is the east locker room. So the west locker room was done this summer, and this is the east locker room. So we're putting in the locker bays, you know, that the lockers get set on now at the Masons. We have all the walls of the east locker room. The stud walls are up, all the plumbing's in place, and we're proceeding along with that. Our goal is sometime around mid-November to turn this over ahead of basketball season. Now, over the summer, we gutted out the northeast corner of the school building. There were some classrooms up there and things. This becomes the guts, the mechanical heart of the building now. So all your boilers, all your pumps, your chiller systems, all the switch gear which came. So that was our big last hurdle to jump. That came on time. So we were very excited about that. All your electrical system, your sprinkler room, all is in those formerly 3 classrooms in the northeast corner of the building. So all this work's proceeding furiously right now because it has to be online in October so that we can turn over the front addition because it powers and feeds all the power to the front addition. So part of that is our new cooling towers we put in the back. So you might see these near the car rider line in the back near the cafeteria. So, and also the new generators in place. So that works. This is about the tallest cooling tower I've seen on a construction project. It's a big one. So so if you walk down the north side of the 300 corridor, okay, there's a temporary wall at the end of that corridor, and if you took that temporary wall out, that will walk you right into the new auditorium and all the lobby of the new auditorium. So that 300 corridor from the cafeteria walking north is going to be kind of the main pathway of the building. So right there, we're building some bathrooms right now as part of phase 2 in the existing building area right next to special ed, and that is going to be what's going to serve all the public in the auditorium. So that is we're timing that up so that when the auditorium opens up in February, you'll have bathrooms available, right? It's kind of hard to have performance without them. So talking about the auditorium, here's kind of where it is in the project. So you can see the blue metal panels are up. The gray metal panels are on this side. This becomes that gray Alucobond system. Storefront's up, and then this is brick that actually is really close matching the existing building. I don't know if you've seen it, but it's a really close match, so we were pretty pleased with that. On the east facade of the auditorium, we used to have a giant hole back here, right, because we were digging out the pit of the auditorium. Well, that's all been filled in now. Now we're 100% complete on masonry for the auditorium project, which was really great. And it was a world record masonry project, and I couldn't figure out why. And then the mason said, well, the VA hospital was way behind schedule, so we put all our crew here. So I said, all right, well, that sounds good. So we appreciated it. So inside the auditorium, things are going great. We've got the concrete poured inside. So you can kind of see on this edge, that's the front curve of the stage, right? So then you can see the auditorium. Here's the orchestra pit here, and then going up, kind of up the seating, right? The concrete seating in the back. This is where all the acoustical panels are going to go at some point, and then we've got a bunch of acoustical block here on the walls. So you kind of see how the workers are building in the seating, which is made out of, styrofoam blocks, and they pour kind of a cap on top of it of concrete. It's structural styrofoam and concrete. It's a lot easier to do than to try to stack up gravel and hold it all in place. So that's the way you do stadium seating in movie theaters and things like that. So kind of you can see some of those styrofoam blocks right there. And here's the back wall where we just put that wall in for the auditorium. You can kind of see the height of all this. If I had turned around and was smart, you could see the big spiral staircase going up to the catwalk and all that. It's really coming a long way in the auditorium. We're feeling very good about it. The band room actually gets turned over in October, about 5 months ahead of schedule. It's got the paint on the walls. We've got the acoustical ceiling in here, and so our plan is to get the band in here. We got flooring going on next week, and things will be rolling along with casework. So just kind of going broad picture schedule update. The green area was our phase 1, right? The big student union, the 2-story classroom addition, and it's all online. We turned over the kitchen this summer, the new kitchen. That was great. The football concessions was turned over as well. Now we got there's some exhaust fans broken there. We got fixed today in the football concessions area, so we were happy about that. Hopefully that'll help some of the heat issues they've been having in that room. Auditorium, like I said, is February of next year. The band room, though, this part of it is going to be turned over in October. So we're planning the big move right now for phase 1. Kyle Poole and I have been working closely on all this, which I appreciate. Kyle, we've got a big furniture move that comes. There's 12 truckloads of furniture coming, so we've got to get it all assembled in place. We've been coordinating with those companies. And then we have the moving company where we've got to take all the teachers' belongings out of the white and move them into the green, basically, right? And move things around. So we've been working really, really well, really close together to get all that organized for you. So summer went really well. We were really excited about that. The switchgear, of course, got here on time. Summer construction went well, which has been a while since I've been here. If you've been in the main gym, the new bleachers are in. The new goals are in the main gym. The new goals and bleachers are in the Ox gym. We've got the kitchen flipped over. We did all the demolition in this area, but then we put the culinary arts back into the existing kitchen. We put them back as a temporary spot because that was easy to hook up their stuff. So they needed a place to go because culinary arts comes in phase 3 in this area. This west side locker room for the girls is complete, and then the boys is underway now, which and then the Ox gym locker rooms we're hoping to start in Thanksgiving and be done in the summer of next year. So phase 3 is about to kick off here on October 15th, and we'll be coming through these blue areas and starting the major demolition. We'll have a bunch of temporary walls blocked off to keep the students out, but the project lead the way in here, all the science labs, filling in the old auditorium and turning it into the choir and all the other rooms, the culinary arts classrooms, the counseling area, all that, the science labs in this area are all be coming online in phase 3. So quality and budget update. We're on budget so far. Contingency funds are in good shape. Dr. Balmer and I were just talking about that yesterday, and our testing on scientific testing is going well. All our concrete compaction, our steel structural testing has all been going well from the independent labs that we employ. So just kind of there's a quick update for you on construction. And, here for questions. And Dad might have had something else he wanted to say. So just wanted to.
I just wanted to say thank you, board members, President Roundtree, Dr. Briggs, Dr. Balmer. We want to take a minute and say we really appreciate the patience of the community and the teachers and the administrators and the students and the staff and the parents, because we've really torn things up around here. So we thank all of you for that. You know, board members, you got a great team out here. And without them, we wouldn't be where we are. And we just wanted to take a moment and praise and thank Dr. Balmer and Kyle Poole and Carrie and Steve Doyle and Dr. Willman and Smith and Brandon Hoffman and Dr. Losi. There's others, I'm sure I've missed someone, but just wanted to let you know how much we appreciate them and a great team, principals and everybody. Okay?
Thanks, Mark.
Thanks, Mark. All right, this time we have community input, and Ms. Cole, you're up again. And anybody else that would like to speak, can just come up and see Miss Susan, and we'll get you signed up. Dr. Balmer, will you be the official timekeeper?
It's 2 minutes, right? I'm just.
3. You got 3.
Oh, wow.
33%
Okay, you're in
more.
for it now, man. You asked for it. Okay. This is kind of just going to be a repeat because I just wanted to make sure that this was on record. My name is Kim Cole. I'm a second grade teacher here at Silver Creek Elementary School. I also live within the district. Do I need to give my address? We used to have to do that. Okay. All right. I am resigning. My final day here at Silver Creek is this coming Friday, September the 13th. I am going to be starting in a new school system in a slightly different role. I'll be teaching 5th grade reading. Many things went into my decision. It was a hard decision. And it just kind of, the opportunity just kind of landed in my lap. And it's going to be hard to leave. The people here are fantastic. The kids here are amazing. But one of the things that really pushed me towards that decision, and since we're coming up on bargaining, I just really felt like it was necessary to share some things. One thing you need to know is that according to Education Week, in the state of Indiana, teacher enrollment in teacher preparation courses has dropped from 2008-2009 to 2021, 55.8%. So we are not only struggling, like there's a teacher shortage, obviously, and a lot of that has to do with like stress and all that kind of stuff, but we also aren't getting new people coming into the field. And I think it's imperative that Silver Creek becomes very competitive. You already have wonderful staff. I mean, I wouldn't have made it this long. This is my 11th year at Silver Creek without my amazing teammates and coworkers and our administration. They're fantastic. And it's not all about money. There's a lot of stress in being a teacher. I'm sure you're finding out, Ms. Franklin, the hard way. This is your first year, I think, right? So there's a lot that goes into being a teacher. It's not all about the pay. However, when we look at neighboring districts, our entry-level pay here at Silver Creek Elementary is $44,000. One neighboring district starts out at $50,000, and another starts out at $48,200. Earlier, somebody said something about the enrollment in those districts, and that's true. But here, our enrollment is growing all the time, as evidenced by the studies we've been doing about needing new elementary schools, new middle schools. We're doing a major construction project on the high school, which was needed. I'm definitely not saying anything about that. So, I mean, we are growing constantly, and that's the hope, right? Because dollars follow scholars. That's a thing that people say all the time. That's where that money comes from, to pay for teachers and other things in the education fund. I personally, and I'm just going to put it out there, I make about $54,845. Do you like the way I said about and then gave you a really specific amount? I will be making about $7,500 more. That is almost like an extra paycheck every month. So that really helped push me to make the decision that I made. I am looking forward to retiring in, a couple more years. In Indiana, your pension is based on your 5 highest years of salary, and that's a big clip. Here at Silver Creek, we top out with with no master's, a bachelor's only, at $63,000. And at a neighboring district with only a bachelor's, they top out at $81,000. That's a big difference. So part of what I want to say too is that I know with the tax rates and everything, and I definitely feel for everybody, because like I said, I'm a member of the community, so I certainly pay those taxes, and I feel that pain. But we can't keep robbing from Peter to pay Paul. To go from the education fund to the operational fund, it's a one-way street. You cannot transfer it back. You can't be like, oh, we did too much money, we need to pay the teachers more. And then sift it back over. Once it's gone, it's gone. Once it's over in the other fund, it's over in the other fund. So I really hope that you all will really consider that we need to recruit good teachers, we need to keep good teachers, and we need to continue to compensate those good teachers fairly and equitably. That's it.
Kim,
Thank
can I
you.
ask you a question real quick?
Of course you can.
How long have you been teaching?
Total, this is my 14th year as a teacher
14th year as a
and my 11th year here at Silver Creek.
Okay. I hate to see you go. I know you're a great teacher.
Well, thank you.
Thanks for speaking today.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Dr. Balmer, financial and operations update.
Yeah, good evening. Since we didn't have the last board meeting there, we are going to go over the financial report there for July. We'll do August here at the next board meeting in September. So we'll begin just by taking a look here at our two main funds, the education and operations fund. So beginning in budget year 24, beginning balance in education was $5,133,791.11. Revenue to date, $14,280,887.42. Expenditures to date through July, $13,930,888.56, with an ending balance in July of $5,483,789.97. Of our appropriation approved from the DLGF for 24, we are 55.5% spent through July. A max percent would be 58.3. Again, we built in additional appropriation there for additional staff and we might need to growth, and we have just recently added some staff to address growth, or currently in the process of adding as well. And then also to address salary increases or any other things that, and as we have mentioned, we are approaching bargaining here, so we will look to do that as we work through bargaining. Moving on to the operation fund, beginning in 24, the beginning balance in operation fund was $3,538,444.73. Year-to-date revenue, through July, $4,516,964.15. Expenditures through July, $4,706,779.97, with an ending balance in our operation fund in July of $3,348,628.91. It is normal to see expenditures exceed revenue at this time because you get your property taxes in July and December. So right now you're relying on the education fund transfer as mentioned due to the shortfall of what we collect in property taxes and what it actually costs to fund the operation. Percent spent through July is 54.5% in the operation fund, and a max percent spent would be 58.3%. And that's the finance update, and that'll be all I have for this evening.
All right, perfect.
Thanks, Tom.
Dr. Briggs, the consent agenda.
Yes, under consent agenda, under letter A, finances, we have numbers 1 through 4. Under number 4, we have numbers 1 through 3. Under letter B, donations, we have numbers 1 and 2. Under letter C, personnel, under certified appointments, letter A, resignations, letter A, leaves, letter A, positions, letter A. Under number 2, classified, number 1, appointments, letters A through I. Under number 2, resignations, letters A through C. Number 3, terminations, letter A. Number 4, leaves, letter A. Number 5, positions, letters A and B. And under letter D, other, we have numbers 1 through 9. And that's it for the consent agenda.
All right, hearing the consent agenda, do we have a motion to bring that to the floor? Mr. Basham makes a motion. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Mr. Groen seconds. Any discussion? Hearing none, all of those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion carries. And I believe we do have Mr. Leach here with us today, Dr. Whitman.
Yeah, thank you. I'm pleased to introduce Coach Ethan Leach as our new head baseball coach. After an extensive search and interview process, all members of the search committee agreed that Coach Leach is the best choice to lead our program. While he does not have a lengthy resume as a head coach, he has stellar recommendations of those who have observed him in the same and opposite dugouts. These are people that for whom we have a great deal of respect. And in addition, he has the requisite characteristics that we desire in all of our head coaches: enthusiasm, knowledge of the game, and a desire to teach life lessons through the game that he loves. Congratulations, Coach Leach.
As he said, my name's Ethan Leach. I'm a 2015 graduate of Madison Consolidated High School. So my baseball career was spent on the other end of getting my tail whipped by this school. So to say that from the outside looking in, it's been a crazy journey in my coaching career. You know, in 2015, I graduated, went to IUS for a short period of time before I came home and worked the family business with my father. Since then, in December of 21, we purchased a Superior Vault Company in Charlestown, Indiana, together as half owners, and have since started 2 more businesses. So from the outside looking in, and I know you guys know this, but the athletic department is something that you should be very proud of. This is the top of the mountain for me in my eyes. So I'm excited to get in and work with the boys. And like you said, it's just my life experiences and pass that on with them from a little bit younger voice than they're probably used to. But I know what the expectations are here on the field and off the field. So that's something that I believe we match up with in my personal life as well. So again, just very grateful for the opportunity. My expectations are the same. I want to win, but I also want these boys to leave here better than they were when I got here. So my mission statement as a coach has been and will continue to be to help build better people through baseball. So if we're not doing that, then I'm not the right person for the job. But that's what we will do. So I promise you that. Thank you.
Thank you, Coach.
Thank you, Coach.
All right, discussion action items. First up is policy 3220.01, which is our teacher appreciation grant. Dr. Briggs, do you want to go over that?
Yes, there's no changes to this. This is a policy that comes back to the board annually that makes us eligible for those funds from the state. So once approved tonight, it will be submitted and we'll be eligible to receive the funds like we've done the past several years.
Perfect. We have a motion to bring the policy 3220.01 to the floor.
Go ahead.
Mr. Groen, Ms. Franklin, would you like to second?
Sure.
Ms. Franklin seconds. Any questions or discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, motion carries 4-0. Next up, number 2, MOU with the Dragons Foundation. Dr. Briggs?
Yes, this is this is an MOU with the Dragons Foundation, and it's going to cover a couple items. One is provide funds for us to continue to provide mental health services for our students, and also some staff professional development opportunities. Ms. Franklin, I do need to fill in a blank here in terms of the total amount that will be donated. I have $30,000 for the mental health, and then I need another amount for the professional development, please.
I think that what's allocated, I would have to look at the exact number, but I mean, I think it's somewhere around $10,000 to $13,000, but I need to double check on that.
Okay.
But the 30,000 for sure is earmarked, and we know what that is.
Yeah, if you could just let me know, that way when we bring it back to the minutes, then at the next board meeting,
Yeah.
we'll have a
I'll have to
total
get
amount.
you the exact number on that.
Great, thank you.
All right, do we have a motion to bring this to the floor? Mr. Basham makes a motion. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Mr. Groen seconds. Any questions or discussion?
Roll call vote, please.
I will. I'll ask for an abstain. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, those that abstain.
Aye.
All right. Next up, we have Calhoun change order number 11. You saw that in your board packet. Dr. Balmer, do you want to explain that for those in attendance?
Oh, sure. With a project this large, obviously there's going to be some change orders. There's just going to be either things that may have been omitted that we needed to add, things that you just didn't see when you opened up the wall. So that's why you budget in contingency, which we have. And as Mr. Sharman mentioned, our contingency is in good shape and we are on budget. This specific change order encompasses 11 changes we had to make as we're working through construction for a total change order cost of $137,897. And as mentioned, we will pay that out of our contingency appropriation line.
Perfect. Hearing Dr. Ballmer's explanation and the information in your board packet, do we have a motion to bring this to the floor?
I so move.
Mr. Groen makes a motion. Do we have a second? Second. Mr. Basham seconds. Any questions or discussion? Hearing none, all of those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, motion carries 4-0. Lastly, we have the resolution in support of military families. Do we have the motion to bring that to the floor?
I so move.
Mr. Groen makes a motion. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Ms. Franklin seconds. Any questions, comments? Hearing none, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, motion carries 4-0. All right, next up, we have our building and administrative reports. Mr. Adams, are you here for the primary tonight?
Good evening, everyone. From the primary across the railroad tracks. I'll keep it kind of short tonight. Our staff have been working really hard, as all the staffs have, but we've adopted a new curriculum, and our teachers have been working really hard to implement that for our students to continue to strengthen our reading curriculum program. So kudos to them for all their hard work in the summer and going into the school year. Our students, thank you to them for acclimating to our new procedures. As you all know, that 50% of our student population is new every year because we have kindergarten. So we always welcome around 250 new kindergartners. So that first 6 to 7 to 8 weeks is really getting them to understand procedures and many different facets of life of school that they have never been a part of. So it's gone really well, and we're extremely pleased. So thank you to them for being patient and learning and following our top 5 school rules. So we're really happy with the start of the school year. And then lastly, we're really excited. We have an additional special class this year, which is STEM. And Jessica Clark has taken that on, and she's really provided some awesome opportunities for our students in the STEM world. Already, our students have built parachutes, 3 little pigs houses, building different structures with architecture, bridges, using marshmallows and toothpicks. And learning the arts of a paper airplane. Now, I know that sounds probably not very educational, but it is. There is a lot of science and math to that. So, and no one got hurt in the process of making those or throwing them. So, it's been a really, really great start to the school year, and we couldn't be more pleased, and cannot believe we're almost all ready to fall break. So, I hope everyone has a nice couple weeks off because I think we've all earned it, especially our teachers. Just know that you're very appreciated in all your hard work. Any questions for me in the primary? Across the railroad tracks. Thanks, Cap.
Thank you.
Have a good one.
Ms. Myers?
Okay, so I'm gonna honor our Pride Award winners. Do you have a cue the picture or something like that, maybe? No? Okay, well, we're just gonna honor our Pride Award winners, so. All right. Well, for the month of August, we celebrated students with persistence, and our students in second grade that were recognized with this award were Elijah Sutton, Kinsley Eisenberg, Reagan Lawson, Liam Jump, Lucy Ortuno, Gabrielle Sadler, Nora Rose, Emmeline Whittle, Emma Bannett, Layla Kaiser, and Charlotte Bond. In third grade, Emma Jenkins, Ella Blingett, Gwen Miller, Robert Willer, Romy Fitzgerald, Zachary Stamper, Aiden Eisman, Carter Ross, and Asher Servay. In fourth grade, we had Bear Bramlett, Kenny Sanchez Martinez, Sophia White, Riera Khan, Elliot Ellis, Kinsley Reese, Elliot Guthrie, Kane Adams, Piper Graves, and Dominic Ramirez. Finally, in fifth grade, we had Monroe Kemp, Kaya Eds, Emery Mano, Carter White, Ian Ramirez, Trip Davis, Layla Crone, Elid Gomez, Victor Castillo, and Aaliyah Townsend. So we want to honor those students for showing their persistence beginning this school year and working so hard. Even when problems were tough, they kept going and trying to persevere through that. So we're really proud of them. Also, we want to thank everyone. We had our family event last Thursday, and we want to thank everyone who came out to view Screenagers, the school edition showing. We actually had 2 showings of it, one at 5 and one at 6, and we had a great turnout. Both areas filled up our gym area, and I think the parents left with some great information. We hope to offer this again this year, and so we encourage all families to come out and watch and learn from those documentaries. We're finishing up our book fair now, so as you can see, it was a great turnout. Kids did always enjoy that book fair week. And our students this week have began taking their iLearn checkpoints. We took our practice test this week, and we will take the ELA and math checkpoints next week on Tuesday and Wednesday. We're doing this year instead of NWEA, hoping to find those learning gaps aligned with iLearn, and so that we can help students fill in those holes and continue to perform and grow. We have fall picture retakes and class pictures next Wednesday on September 18th. And something that's very near and dear to my heart that we've done for the last couple of years, September is known for Childhood Cancer Awareness Month. And we've been honored to do a philanthropic event here to raise money for St. Jude's Children's Research Hospital through Coin Wars. Last year, we were able to purchase many wagons and different items to help benefit the children and families who are dealing with this terrible disease. But this year, we're going to begin next week, hold our annual Coin Wars, and our goal this year is $5,000. And if we raise that, last year we raised it, and our principals, including Mr. Cyphers, had to wear tutus and tiaras, and it was great, and our dogs. This year, we're looking at an inflatable costume parade, so we're excited about that and all the possibilities there. So, and then also the last week in September, we'll have College Go Week for September 23rd through the 27th, so we're looking forward to that and showing some school spirit. Finally, I just want to say, Mrs. Cole, we are going to miss you. That was a conversation that I wasn't expecting to have, but Mrs. Cole has worked with us and worked with me for several years now. She does an excellent job teaching our students. She's always been the one person that I knew whenever push was come to shove and I need somebody to step up, Kim was going to say, well, if you really need me to do it, I'll do it. And so I'm going to miss having that in the building. She was our virtual teacher when COVID hit and shut down. She did a hybrid of both. I mean, she just kind of rolled with it for me. So I appreciate all your leadership and everything you've done, and I'm certainly going to miss you. So, all right. Thank you to everyone.
Thank you.
Thanks, Sandy.
Ms. Nunn?
Good evening from Silver Creek Middle School. I'd like to begin by thanking Mrs. Willman or Megan Willman for inviting our 8th grade to tour IUS. One of our 8th grade teams have gone earlier this week, and our other team will go later this week. But they've had a field trip to IUS, which included a tour of the campus, college prep information, listing of the different courses and studies offered at IUS, and just how the different pathways that they could take in high school could lead them to their different outcomes at IUS. I'd also like to congratulate the marching band and the Silver Creek Middle School students who were part of that. They took overall 2nd place at the Salem Invitational last weekend, so congratulations to them. Our student council is hosting a personal hygiene drive this week. The items that we're asking folks to donate to us would be toothpaste, toothbrushes, undergarments, socks, hygiene products such as feminine products, and deodorant. Our student council is also celebrating this week by having a spirit week, so I'm very glad that they chose twin day for student, or for our school board meeting instead of tomorrow, which is Adam Sandler Day. So I'm glad I'm not standing up here looking like Adam Sandler, for you guys. I'd also like to let everybody know that our robotics is open for teams now. So if anybody is interested, they can just click the link on our afternoon announcements. They can stop by Mr. Luther or our front office to get more information about how to be a part of our robotics program. We had a waiver day, August 21st, and I'd like to thank our staff for all their hard work. We did a lot of reflection and a lot of PD on that day, and I appreciate all their hard work. And also just our nurses for partnering with Focus Eye Care, and they completed the eye exams for all of our 8th graders this past month. So I thank you for that. Just some upcoming dates. Fall sports pictures are happening on September 26th. Our picture retakes will happen on September 27th. As you're driving by, check out our marquee. We have started Student Athletes of the Week, and students' names will be will be given to us by coaching staffs, and the names will appear on the marquee for a week. So those, again, were submitted for leadership or something that they've contributed to the team. We already have 14 cross-country runners who qualify for the state meet already in the season. And we're also excited about the Dragon Dash this weekend. So if anybody wants to see a lot of kids running, come to the primary school this Saturday. We'll dodge any raindrops that happen, and we'll have a great time. Also want to congratulate our 7th and 8th grade volleyball teams. They won the Silver Creek Middle School Challenge volleyball tournament, and our 6th grade came in 2nd place. So congratulations to all our volleyball teams. We'd like to wish our boys tennis good luck. They're hosting the Mid-Southern Conference this weekend, as well as our Dragon Dash. And again, just continue best of luck for all of our competitors, whether it's in performing arts or athletics or academics. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Christy.
Thank you. Dr. Wellman?
Good evening. Lots of sporting events going on tonight. Matter of fact, the soccer game is going on. That's probably going to decide the conference championship in the Mid-Southern tonight. We play Charlestown. If you want to see any one of our fall sports is battling for that top conference spot. Cross country, if you want to see that, there are some really strong runners there with the Hokum Karam last week. The relay, that was a lot of fun. Volleyball's had big wins over conference rivals. They beat Floyd Central a couple of weeks ago. Tennis with wins over Jeff and Charlestown. And like I said, the soccer team, the girls are playing at New Albany this evening. And of course, we can still brag about this, even though it was 2 weeks ago. We won the Battle of 403 with the football team, so we're still happy about that. If you want to come and see a really good atmosphere, high school atmosphere, come to Homecoming next week, where we'll have the great environment, the cheerleaders, the band, the ozone, of course, the football program and all of that going on. We have lots of events starting next week with we will have Adam Sandler Day. I'm surprised middle schoolers value Adam Sandler like they do, but high schoolers do too. We're going to have one also. But we will have the parade on the 19th. That's a Thursday, the game on Friday, and then a dance on Saturday. So lots coming up there. Also, once again, congratulations to the band last weekend. This week they travel to Paoli for another competition. The Crucible starts or opens on the 27th and continues through that weekend. Of course, the theater has had to scale back in the fall production due to the theater and all of that. We are getting ready, and we're getting ready to move into the new spot. So last year, and I know everybody knew this, I think I talked about this at a board meeting, everybody got really excited, legitimately excited about 2 new restrooms that we had going in that were brand new. I cannot imagine the excitement and the chaos that will ensue on October 14th when they finally get to go into that. So what we're trying to do is make the transition as easy as possible. I know Mr. Smith and his crew came in today to film like kind of a virtual tour to give the students something to see, give them a picture of what they're going to encounter. The teachers will tour the facility next week, although some have already kind of leaked in there, which I know you're aware of that. They've kind of scouted out what they're going to do, what they're going to get. And then the students tour the week of the 23rd. So we've kind of worked it to where they can kind of go through and see the new facility, at least get the logistics down of where it is that we're going to go. So very excited about what'll greet us when we come back on the 14th. Other stuff, PSAT prep, we're doing a lot of that. That's on the 22nd of October. We appreciate the asynchronous day for that because we will test half the school that day with the PSAT. So we are preparing for that by taking some practice exams on the 13th and the 19th of this month, and then of course a readiness test on the 23rd. And then we are starting the very beginning of our Veterans Day program with the Purple Heart initiative going on. We are going to continue that. We had a program last year, so that will be, we had last year for grades 11 and 12. We might expand that to the entire school this year, this coming year, and we will have a guest speaker there. We don't know who it's going to be yet, but we will have a guest speaker. So we are excited about what is to come ahead.
Thank you.
Thanks, Rob. Thank you.
Dr. Swearens?
Right, good evening. Sandy Myers and I submitted a proposal to present at the ISBA conference this month, and we were fortunate enough to be selected. So our presentation titled Using iRead on the Road to Success will be presented on September 24th. So we're hoping that the school board members that are able to attend that day will swing by our presentation. Also, I'm so glad Mr. Hankins is here. Last year, I shared with you some information about the Amy Krause Rosenthal Foundation grant. Mr. Hankins brought this information to me. We did move forward with that grant application and did receive it. So this week, we did receive 400 copies of the book Exclamation. This is a great book on the importance of standing out, but then there's that grammar component as well on how to use exclamation marks. So he and I are working together to have our distribution plan to get these in the hands of kids to be able to, for them to be able to take these home. Also last year, Dr. Waters and I applied for the Summer of Learning Conference grant. That was a great event. It provided this opportunity for us to have nationally recognized speakers come to Silver Creek free of charge for our district. Those costs were paid for using those grant funds. We do plan on applying again, so we are hoping to bring back that opportunity again to our local school community. Do you have any questions for me?
No. Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Mayor.
Dr. Swearens? I'm sorry, Dr. Waters?
All right, thank you and good evening. So I not only work very closely with the secondary schools, but I also work pretty closely with health services. And first, I just want to thank our nursing staff for the wonderful job that they do of keeping our dragons healthy. They would like to thank Dr. Oland and her team at Focus Eye Care Center for completing vision screenings on all of our 1st, 3rd, 5th, and 8th graders. That's no small task, to say the least, because that's about 1,000 students. We're so appreciative that this service has been provided to us for the 3rd year in a row. Thank you to our school nurse liaisons from Clark County Health Department for also helping to facilitate. The health department will also be hosting an on-site immunization clinic at the middle school on Tuesday, September the 24th from 4 to 7 p.m. for any Silver Creek student that's in need of their vaccinations. We also want to welcome our new nurse, Andrea Harshey, to Silver Creek Elementary. She's a great addition to our health services team. Do you have any questions for me?
Nope.
No, thank you.
Thank you. Dr. Briggs?
Okay, thank you to our community members who came out and spoke this evening, and Mrs. Cole, thank you as well. Appreciate your comments. Trainer Ross, all the best to him. Mr. Hankins, thank you for your presentation and taking the lead role on that project. Today we had a school safety event at the elementary school, and I just want to thank Sheriff Maples and his staff. I want to thank our school administrators, our teachers, and our students. Anytime you have any type of school safety incident, whether it's real or not real, it's nerve-wracking and stressful. We do prepare for what we hope is everything, but in the heat of the moment, you never know how we're going to react. And from the top down, from the sheriff's department to our admin to our teachers to our students, everyone did a great job today. Happy to report that it was not actually anything to be alarmed about, but until we go through the investigation, we do not know. After the fact, there was communication that was sent out. My apologies. I think some people got my full message on the phone and some people did not. We're working on that system. Also, there's that message, the same verbiage was emailed to you, and it's also, we posted it on Facebook, so hopefully everyone was able to get that. That leads me to thank you, board members, for approving Parent Square this evening. We will roll Parent Square out. Parent Square is an app that we will use for communication purposes. It will take a few months to roll that out, but at some point this semester, that's what we will be transitioning to from my office to call you, text you, email you, to give you notifications through Parent Square, and then through the school offices and classrooms, they'll also be communicating through that as well. So more information to come. That's it. Thank you.
Thank you. Dr. Ballmer?
Yeah, I want to thank Shireman, Mark, Jeff, Les.
It's echo right back to you. It's been a pleasure to work with you all. You all done a fantastic job, and it's a great partnership. And we wouldn't be where we're at without you all working with us on the project. So thank you. Definitely want to just give a shout out to Ross. He's been such a valuable part of our athletic department, and definitely going to miss him, but wish him the best. Miss Cole and your support. Thank you all for coming out. We're sure going to miss you. Thank you for all you did, Miss Cole. What I would say is we will continue. We do value our teachers and our staff as a whole, and we will feel like we've made some great strides since we became Silver Creek. We'll continue to do our best to equip and value the best we can. I think that's one of all of our top priorities, and it is tough to compete with larger districts, but we'll continue to operate within our means, but do our best to show our appreciation and value for what you do each and every day, and we do appreciate you.
All right, thank you. Mr. Basham?
Got a few things. We had a ISBA meeting last Friday at Indy, and Sandy, you talked about robotics. Indiana is leading the nation in introducing robotics in the schools. So the state's really going to start putting some more resource to expand on that. Also that day, we talked about absenteeism. Dr. Jenner was at the meeting for 90 minutes, and there's going to kind of be a push in Indy to lock up parents for absenteeism, and our objection that, well, who's going to take care of the student if a parent's in jail? So they've got a tight rope to walk there. These we've all been talking about, the new diploma, requirements. They were at meeting again last Friday afternoon. The state is still tweaking these. She can't give us a timeline when they think they'll have the final draft. And one of the other issues we talked about was voucher program. Last year the state spent $500 million on voucher, and 70% of those were done sending their childs to private school. And it appears like the state's going to expand it even further. So we've all got a concern. We've touched base on it. We do value our staff. I wish we got the same funding as larger school corporations did. If we did, we'd all be pretty equal. Then we could keep quality people. We've got quality people, and it's up to us to come up with funds that keep us competitive. But we do value great. Thank you.
Thank you. Ms. Franklin?
Yeah, a couple things. First, I do want to thank the law enforcement response that we had today. Anytime that happens, that's scary. It's concerning. There's a period of time where maybe parents or people in the community, don't necessarily have like the right information or the wrong, or, the accurate information. And I think that it's easy in those moments, especially as a parent, to maybe not offer grace and instead offer criticism. A lot of that stuff happens on social media. But, even as a parent, receiving that voicemail that there was that concern on campus today, what I know no matter what is that what's going on at the school is that the teachers and the administration and our community as a whole, with the police department, is 100% committed to making sure that our students are safe. And so while there may be, concerns about when messages were relayed or how quickly that happens, those are things that we can always improve on. But the one thing that I feel like we're already doing the best at is being prepared. We've invested a lot of money, a lot of time, and, I say it all the time, since 2016, we have changed the narrative with our SRO presence. That narrative completely changed from that, time frame going forward. We had one officer, now we have 4. They're at every building. And so at the end of the day, that is reassuring. And so I want to thank everybody for the way they handled that today. With regards to the MOU for the Dragons Foundation, we're really excited about that kind of partnership moving forward. That's going to provide a lot of money for things that are really important, mental health issues, and things like that we can continue to help with here on campus that benefit our students are really good. September is Suicide Prevention Month, so it's great to remember that. We have our therapy dogs and all the things that we've made strides in to provide services for kids. And so we really look forward to being able to work with the school to continue to have Centerstone here at the school. As well as, I was really excited about our MOU with Wellstone. I know Wellstone's under new leadership now, and that they are doing a lot of things kind of networking in the community. And so I'm really looking forward to seeing what kind of partnership that we can build with Wellstone. And part of that might be the professional development funds that we are going to be able to allocate through the foundation to the school, which professional development for our teachers, I look forward to working with our administrators and Dr. Briggs on what that could potentially look like. I would love to put on an event where we have a lot of speakers come in and our teachers get credit for that professional development. So I look forward to bringing some trauma-informed care curriculum, and PD possibly, as well as some other things that you guys feel like you need. So that's exciting. The other thing is, yes, news travels fast, I guess, Ms. Cole. This is my first year teaching, and so, I'll just say right now, everybody should be a teacher one time in their life. I think I've always had a great appreciation for teachers and what you guys do. Until you do it, you don't necessarily know all the ins and outs. It's a learning experience in itself, but the amount of work and time that goes into it is vast, and it's great. And so, what's glaring about what you talked about today, I think, is that you've been in teaching, you said 14 years. And so there's about a $3,000 gap between what I'm earning as a first year teacher and what you are earning as a teacher who's been in this profession for years. And that's something to be mindful of, because that doesn't always factor into the right now, but I think it shows a trend that there maybe is a significant underappreciation for teachers, or maybe the pay scales need to be looked at. I do think that as a district and as a board, we have consistently tried to look and make the strides that we need to make. I know this issue was brought up last fall, and I stated then that we had made significant gains. I think that the starting teacher pay had went up almost like 35%. But definitely, I think we have a lot of work ahead of us. That is a significant gap in our other districts. And when teachers like you leave, that's concerning. And we have a lot of teachers that, when looking in for jobs in the area, they're not going to choose us unless they factor in certain things because of that pay. And we've got to work to figure out what we want to do as a district moving forward and what our focus is going to be. And so I think that we have our work ahead of us in the next few months, but I look forward to those conversations. And lastly, I just want to say that words are very powerful, and words that are said at these board meetings can often be interpreted certain ways. And there have been words that have been, stated at previous board meetings recently. And I will just state this, that as a board, I'm very proud to work with the people that I'm sitting up here with today. As a woman, I have always been treated with respect. It's not to say that we always agree with each other, because we don't. If we all agreed with each other, there would be no changes, there would be no progress, because we would all have the same ideas and we would get nowhere. But these gentlemen up here have always treated me with respect. I've probably rubbed them the wrong way with my opinions and my statements. They've gotten on my nerves as well. But we're taught very early on in life that just because someone disagrees with you does not mean that their morals or values are significantly less, or that they don't have integrity. And so today I just want to say that I stand proud to work with you guys, and we continue to do so. We have tough decisions that have to be made. And sometimes those decisions we get very passionate about. And if we don't get maybe what we think the direction that we want to go as individuals, that it collectively doesn't mean that we don't have morals or values. And so I just want to say that I look forward to continue working with you guys. I feel like this is a safe environment, even though that we do not necessarily all see eye to eye. We've been through it. It's stressful at times. And so, board meetings can be intense, but I think that we do really good things here. And I think that we've made significant progress. And so I thank you guys for your work.
Thank you. Mr. Groen?
Jennifer and Kathy, thank you for speaking today. Mr. Hankins, Dr. Balmer, and the Sharmans, thank you for your presentations. Kim, thank you for your 11 years of service here. I didn't have a child to go through your classroom, but and it could have happened with Stevie. If she's in the kindergarten and over there trying to learn how to build buildings and maybe some bricks homes with the 3 little pigs. I'm really looking forward to that, and I'm hoping the Sharmans might come over there and show you how to build a few things, or I want to see who compares might be a little better over there, the which construction team. So
Might be able to save some money in the future.
Yeah. Yeah. And then Sandy, I will take number 12 back here, please. That is Bluey, and I need Bluey the house. Thank you. I do need that. Thank you. So. Yeah.
All right. Man, there's a lot of things I want to say and go over, but Ms. Cole, thank you. 11 years of service. I hope New Albany Floyd really understands what they're getting and how big of an asset you've been to our corporation. And I hate to see you go, but I totally understand why. And to Ross Hopeful, I've worked with this gentleman for 7 years in a capacity, and I can tell you that he is a true professional, and that he always had our athletes and all of our students' health and wellness as his top priority. And U of L's getting a very special person. So, Sharman, thanks for coming, presenting. You guys are knocking it out. The fact that we can move in this early, we're ahead of schedule, probably alleviates a lot of pain points for our staff at the high school. And I'm looking forward to another speedy phase 2 and 3. All right. Mr. Hankins, thank you again for what you did and the time that you put in. Much appreciated. And I am looking, we talked a little bit tonight about the bargaining process. I'm looking forward to it this year. We have an increased ADM, which means we have more money. I agree with Christy and Joe. We've made significant strides since we separated. I think our starting pay may have been 36 at the time. 35, 845 to be exact. Now we're over 44, and we're hoping to increase that. I don't know that we'll ever be New Albany, Floyd, or Greater Clark. When they get $3,000 more per kid because of complexity formula, it's not necessarily the size of district, right? It's everybody gets the same base, but the complexity formula really at those larger school districts, we were talking about $3,000 a kid. Just $3,000 a kid at our enrollment would be extra almost $10 million. I mean, what can we do with $10 million? But what we hope to do is close the gap. They were with our ADM being off last year, we weren't able to do as much. So we couldn't close the gap as much as they did on their contract. But I'm also now glad that we only did a 1-year contract, because now we have an opener to come back and be able to do more. So I'm looking forward to that. And again, I don't know that we'll ever be there, but if we can get close, I hope that's the stride. So I agree with you. Property taxes are getting out of hand. The public hearing for me wasn't the time to say it, but something's got to be done about that at the state level. Property taxes going up 70%, I can tell you that our levy has not gone up 70% in the last 6 years. It's not even close. And where it's coming is from the AV side. And unfortunately, because of the fact that we have had to do some construction and we're going to have to do more with everybody, with the buildings and homes and apartment complexes going up in Sellersburg, this school corporation was really just never looked after with a vision for future growth previously. And that's unfortunate. And what it's causing is causing a lot of pain points right now. And, you know, I know the school gets the bad rep because of the fact that property taxes have gone up, but I can promise you this, it is not just the school. There's a lot of other factors that go into that. So with that being said, our next upcoming meetings are September 24th, October 22nd, and November 19th, all here at Silver Creek Elementary School, GPR. And, you know, we'll hope you come out for that. And then we'll have to throw a ratification of the teacher's contract in there somewhere that we'll announce at that time. And if anybody doesn't have anything else, can I get a motion for adjournment?
So moved.
Mr. Basham moves. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Ms. Franklin seconds. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, motion carries 4-0. Meeting adjourned at 8:03.